this style going when Zach and DeMar return. You got one of them back tonight, and you tied your season high with 32 assists. What stood out to you offensively tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing, with better pace and tempo. Certainly, DeMar and Zach are both elite offensive players, right? And, I think that for us, the faster we can kind of get into our action down the floor. I mean, this is a good defensive team. I think they're like maybe top 5, top 6 in the league, And I know they're coming off a back-to-back, and they've battled with some injuries. But, they're a very, very good team, and they're long, athletic, and physical. But if we get bogged down in the half court against teams like that, we're going to have to, generate some cutting, moving just to get bodies off of us, right? And, DeMar coming back's a smart player. He knows how to play. I thought, this whole year he's done a really good job, I think, of facilitating and generating shots for guys. And that's the one thing that's great with he and Zach. They're both willing passers. But I just think the speed and pace, but it's not even only that, it's the quick decisions. You got to, that's what enables you to do, is to make the quick decision. And I thought we were pretty decisive the whole entire night.
Did you get an update on Alex?
It's the same thing with his toe that he had last time. He kind of re-aggravated it. I really do not know how bad it is, if he'll miss any time or not, but certainly it was hurting him enough that he couldn't play in the second half.
What did you think of DeMar's return, especially the way he was facilitating?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've said this, I think DeMar's greatest strength, and he's obviously a Hall of Fame player, but I think just being around him for the last couple of years, his greatest strength, in my opinion, is his mind and his vision and his understanding of the game, and he knows how to manipulate things. And he, we always try to keep like potential assists and how many shots are guys generating for each other. And he's really, really good at that. He knows when to go to his spots and shoot it, and he knows when to pass it. And he makes the game easy for guys when he does those things. So, DeMar, this throughout his career, he can play really in any style. If you need like the last 5 minutes to game get slowed, he could play that way. He can get off and move it and play up top. He can play in a low post. He's pretty, equipped to play any kind of style. And he always, I think, has a mentality to do what's best for the team. So, I mean, with him, coming back, again, I think he's done a really good job, not only this game, but the whole year, of generating shots for guys on our team.
Billy, before Caruso went out, you switched his substitution pattern. Was that specific to the Pelicans, or because Zach is out?
In terms of what substitutions, I know it's totally different in the first half in terms of what.
Early in the first half, you brought him back early.
Who's that now?
Caruso.
Yes. In my conversation, with him, I think I maybe mentioned to you guys this. It's a long sit for 6 minutes to 6 minutes. Where you're trying to keep him within that 25 to 28 minute range. I've always tried to, as best I can, keep him to like 12 minutes if I can in the first half, and have more minutes in the second half to play with. But the one thing I think he felt was that was a long sit for him, just in the flow of the game. So what I tried to do was just get him a shorter stint in the first quarter, then bring him right back, get him another shorter stint, and then have him close, where you're kind of trying to still stay within that range of, 12 to 14 minutes and a half. But that was the reason I did it, just my conversation with him. And him, I think, he always can get going, but it's just the rhythm of the game to be sitting for, it's not only 12 minutes, but it's 12 minutes of game time, which you don't even know how long that is. But that was the reason why I did that.
It was a tough just road trip for you guys, obviously.
I'm sorry?
You guys had a tough road trip, a lot of the way those games went, and just the way you guys have responded to these two games. Just kind of what has impressed you about that? What is this,
I mean, these guys are I think they care. They work hard. Certainly from the game, there's a lot of things that we can get better and clean up. But I think that the spirit is there, the fight's there. I think they're trying to play for one another. The thing that's been encouraging to me is offensively, the last two games in particular, we've scored 120, 124 points, and I think a lot of that has to do with the tempo and the pace that we're getting down the floor and getting up the floor. And we're a little bit quicker and faster coming out. I think I've been talking about that for a while. But we've done a pretty good job, and the biggest thing is, can we sustain that? That's the challenge. And defensively, we're doing some really good things. I think if we can eliminate the fouling, we're battling on the backboard. Sometimes we have size differential matchup issues, but we're providing help when we need to. So we're doing good things, and we just got to keep it on the things that we need to continue to do to improve.
Did you use up your Coby White adjectives before the game, or do you got any left?
Well, he made me look good after all the things I said about him before the game, so I'll have to go in there and thank him.
But Just in general, beyond the shot making, just his floor.
Well, it's
command.
kind of like what I said to you guys. If you guys go back and look at the catch and shoot opportunities, that's where he's. And I'm not saying that Coby can't shoot off the dribble, but his numbers are unbelievable catch and shoot. And I think I'd mentioned to you guys about him getting off the ball. Not that he doesn't need to be a point guard, but when he gets off of it and kind of gets in some spots, and the way they were playing defense, we tried to put him on the backside somewhere he could kind of fill behind. And when the ball did get thrown to him, if he didn't have a shot, he could drive it. Because I think when he's playing against closeout situations, he's been really, really good. And I'm happy for him because of the work that he's put in, to get himself to this point.
There was a moment there where you described what you talked about before the game with him, where he had made several threes pretty consistently, and then he kicks out to Torrey Craig, and Craig makes the three. When you talk about his mentality of helping, do you think that's a good example?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great example. Like, he's not one of these guys that if he feels like he's got it going, that he's just going to, take a lot of heat check shots. He doesn't really do that, and I give him credit. Like, he tries to play the game the right way. He knows that for us, his penetration, his passing, and his shooting helps our team. But if someone's open, he's going to try to pass the basketball. He's always been that way, and he always tries to do the right thing by the team. And to your point, that extra pass was a great pass. He could have come down and shot it, and he did it, and he got him a shot. And Torrey, got one. And I think to Casey's point, 32 assists 2 games in a row is good to see the way these guys are sharing the ball. And I think when you do that, you're always going to shoot a little bit of a higher percentage. Generally, I thought maybe in the second quarter, I thought we generated some really good looks. We just had a hard time putting the ball in the basket. We didn't shoot it great from 3 in the first half, but we kind of evened out throughout the course of the game.
Kobe's lob to Patrick, did you see what he saw as it was unfolding? It was kind of right in front of
Yeah,
him.
it was wide open. It was wide open, yeah. I think you always worry about in those moments of when a guard's throwing that. I think it was maybe Herb Jones that went up I think, and tried to, and he's long. That's one of those passes that got deflected. So, Patrick went up and got it, but it was wide open. I just didn't know if he would have thrown a bounce pass, But no, it was a great play, and obviously gave us a little bit more cushion.
Seemed like also that with Coby, partially with guys out, but also seems like for the first time he's really wanted to look for his shot to help the team as opposed to trying to, he previously deferred a little more, like you said previously, well, should I be the point guard? And now he's saying, look, they need my scoring. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I think, Sam, it's the thing about it is he's not doing it off the initial action with the ball in his hands. If you look at a lot of his scoring, I said this before the game, a lot of it is coming off of passes to him where people are maybe shifted in on Vooch or they're shifted in on DeMar or whatever it may be. When the ball's coming back to him, that's where he's generating offense for himself and others, whether he's
Bringing the ball up.
Yeah, sometimes too, absolutely. Where they were picking up a lot full court today, so we had multiple handlers bringing it down. But even him getting back off of it, we put DeMar in a lot of angle pick and roll on the sides, just off the lane line, and we had Coby filling behind. And DeMar did a good job of reading his man sinking in on Vooch and throwing it back to Coby, and it generated some shots, and it also generated some drives and some swing passes. So, yeah, I have no problem with the ball in Coby's hand at all bringing it up. But if you really look at how he scores, yes, he had that great play coming down where he hesitated and he drove. Valanciunas kind of went back to Vooch and he drove and got a layup. He can do that, but a lot of his catch and shoots are not shots that he's generating for himself. Others are generating.
Before, he seemed to be passing on a lot of those.
Yes.
Moving the ball around.
Yes, I agree with that. He's got to take those. Yes, he has to be aggressive in those situations, and I think he's.
Is that
Yes.
the way you see it?
Yeah, I definitely see it that way. Yeah, the more he's playing against closeouts and being aggressive either for himself or somebody else is good. He doesn't, to your point, get it and just pass it. He needs to be attacking, and when he's had those moments, I think he's done a really good job.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.